Okay, so there were some reflections which were being shared with me over lunch. We'll start with that till Meenu gets prepared with her presentation and controls the butterflies in her stomach, right? So till such time, we'll just open the mic to.
Okay. Hi, I'm Renuka, and I work with an export house. And we basically try and promote, a lot of artisans. They could be from any state. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not from this industry, but I have been with him from last so many years now. And I love to volunteer in all the events that he has been organizing from so many years, whether that, that is from when you were with Tech Mahindra and other organizations. So coming here from last 3 days has been very inspiring and very enriching. Jerry, I'm a huge fan of yours. I'm a big, big, big fan of yours. So and you are the new found love. I'm sorry you don't feel bad. So thank you so much, and I feel like coming back and working in this industry, and just leave my industry, and I'm not interested in my job anymore. Want to work with more people, want to work for people.
Thank you so much. Which everybody. I get a little, and I said this in the last 3 days also. I think a couple of times that when people call Rex a NGO event, I do not take it too kindly because we are not an NGO event. And I come from the firm belief that the NGO sector, yes, we are founded as the International Confederation of NGOs, but the objective was always to promote citizen action. Because it's what Gandhiji said, is that we are the people sector or the citizen sector, right? I don't like to call it civil society also because it makes all others sound like uncivil society, right? So we are the people sector, which means it's all about people, right? So that's what we are. We're not an NGO event. It's an event about people coming from, you've seen people from companies, from media houses, from people who are into training, people who are into government organizations. So there's everybody who's come and spoken, doctors, professionals. So that's what it is. It's a people sector thing. It's a people sector movement. So that's what I wanted to clarify. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to ask a small question to the forum here and to you, Jerry. Where do we go from here? So we've exchanged a lot of emails with iCongo over the past 4-5 months, and we've been really, enriched with all here after hearing every one of us talk about their work in small and big ways, and learned from them and got inspired. Now, from now on, when I went to sleep last night, I felt a little more weight on my shoulders, because the award is going to stay, or it might just fade away, but the kind of responsibility that this forum and this entire 3-day experience has put on our shoulders is immense. So where do we go from here? How do we keep the fire burning, and how do we kind of really, continue to inspire more people, bring in more people, join us, and then identify them, and then, keep the good work happening? That's my question to the forum.
And now we are on the threshold of what Swamiji showed in that. We've done selfless work. It's 14 years. We worked on 7,000 a month, which is just 4,000 for one car petrol expenses, 1,000 for a bill for MTNL, one for the Reliance, and the rest it's all been passion and work. But what we did starting then, and which I recommend to all of you to do, is that you meet so many people, but you forget them all because you don't know where to reconnect with them. So what we did is that the 26,000 email IDs which we have all got a prefix. Like iCongo is iCongo, okay? And then we made groups. So it's And then we distributed these lists and we update them every year with the co-op team so that they all can come up with their passionate ideas and they put it together, they fly them out. So we have a huge group right now for bringing about voting for service officers, defense officers and all the overseas people. We have another group working on, core group working on the election commission. So that's one of the ways to go because that doesn't cost much. It basically means hard work and getting it together. But then you're welcome to link with us on, if you like, on some work which we do. Like our core work is the country cannot improve without better MLAs and better MPs. And otherwise the money will be squandered. So we focus on that. And tomorrow, incidentally, at Constitution Club, we have a gathering which starts at 2 and goes on till 8. And we are only talking about two things. One is how corrupt is the Election Commission of India, and the second is what we need to do about bringing back the black money.
Hi, Jerry, and everybody else. My concern is that we have been here for the last 3-4 days. There has been a good amount of connect. There is a good amount of networking that's happened. We should be discussing now how we're going to scale this up using the ICANN campaign with Karma Yoga. My only concern is that, I don't want to lose out on the connect and the tempo which I've built up here. Plus the scalability of more people joining up and the more activity that happens. So how would that be handled? I personally would need some hand-holding once I move out from here. So if you can help address that, that will be great.
Basically, the people who rule India, which is the MPs and the MLAs.
So that's where I would like to start. I beg to differ because there's nobody ruling India. They should serve India. And I don't think it's 543 MLAs and those few MPs who are important. The basic reason governance is bad in India is because citizens are bad. The citizen is the most corrupt. Fact of life. We'll stand in line for a McDonald's burger in 1995 and for a Starbucks coffee in 2013, but we won't stand in line for a passport or a driving license. We'll catch hold of touts. So we are the most corrupt, right? So having said that, that's exactly where our focus is. We are not focusing on MPs. Oh, they are also citizens, right? And that's been the very concept from the time when Meenu and I started out, two of us, and CSR karo, ye karo. We said individual social responsibility. We have a thing called icoexchange.com, on which if you go, you'll see all our initiatives over there. And there is a website called rightEveryWrong.com, on which all of you can register now, and the website is going to get updated, and post whatever you're doing and stay connected. Right? So it's meant for our members and for our subscribers. We have a huge database of 12 million plus also. Right? So that's not an issue at all. What we need is people to support and get engaged to go and find more heroes. The only hope for this country is to create that, what Rishi spoke about, put that burden on them that you have to be the change. 543 parliamentarians, I promise you, in the history of the world in the next 100 centuries will never be the change. There'll be one corrupt guy coming after the other. We are living in a bubble. We think that, that will pay off dividends. It won't, because they'll always be corrupt. Any office of power will always be corrupt. It is a fact of life. You see it in your golf club. Is there no corruption there? You see it in the building. Is there no corruption there? I don't get involved in building politics. Why waste energy there? People have such egos when they're fighting for the presidency of a small place called Belvedere Towers, which has 200 apartments. And they have such egos about presidency and secretary. So why shouldn't that parliamentarian have ego? When you have an ego. People come from Chandigarh and Punjab for that stupid Delhi Golf Club election, with all due respect. But they won't go to vote in their own neighborhood. What are we talking about? I promise you, my father-in-law is one of them. I've seen him always come for that Delhi Golf Club. And I've told him also, sitting with him I said, you come all the way here for this. Like it's going to change the world or something. Now he stopped coming, thank God. And the way they lobby with each other, hey, vote for me, I'll buy you one drink tomorrow. Hey, what? Corruption is there. What are we talking about? It's happening in the golf club, any golf, Chandigarh ho, Bombay ho, stupid elections. You do it in the classroom elections, yeah. Hey, vote for me, yeah? I have a treat coming up at home. Corruption is happening in schools, sir. What are we talking about? 543 parliamentarians. We got to begin with citizens. But I'm saying that the parliamentarians, sir, no matter who comes over there, tomorrow, even if I go in there, I promise you, in 1 month I'll become corrupt. I'm telling you that about myself. So no matter who you put over there, that office will always corrupt you. You won't last in that office if you're good. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the citizen has to become empowered to hold things accountable. Only then. See, everybody is focusing on telling the citizen that you are right and they are wrong. We have to also tell the citizen that you are wrong. And that has been our mission always. I don't think we have ever tried to do that where we said they are wrong and citizens are right. Because then that becomes politicking. कि हमें vote दो because we know you're right. आप ऑटो वाले ठीक नहीं हो यार. Anisha will have a problem catching an auto in Delhi tomorrow. आप ऑटो वालों का वोट लेने के लिए उनको मतलब अपीज कर रहे हो आजकल. But has the auto wala been told that when Anisha asks you to go somewhere, go with her? They give you a tough time, don't they? What about that?
For the golf club, because they say, oh wait, if I go there and the guy I want isn't there, then it's going to affect me the next time I go there, right? It's a direct impact. Yes. Perhaps in order to awaken people a little bit, the citizen that you're saying, one can show them that if this MLA doesn't do this, or if they don't fulfill their promises, it'll come down to your car, your home, your water, and your bathing, so on and so forth. If they, for instance, they open up the water tap and there's no water coming, they think in the head, uski galti hai, agli baar main vote karne jaunga. You know, make it real for them.
You said that when we get to a position of power, then we have tendency, if you go there, you will become corrupt. But there are officers, who take higher positions and they retain their integrity. For example, I keep hearing about Surat. There was this IS officer, Mr. Rao. He kind of changed the face of Surat. I got to know this from Tushant. So he retained his integrity, and even in Baroda, I mean, some people come from Baroda. So I asked them, do you know Mr. Rao? They are from Baroda, and they say, yeah, we know Mr. Rao because he made the difference in Surat. Surat is a very clean city as compared to what it was when the plague had hit that city. So is it a statement of fact that when we get to the position of power, I'm not saying that we need to crave for it, that we are definitely going to become corrupt?
Right? But in the elected power, you see it, no? I mean, every populist agenda has become corrupt, right? In bureaucrats, I believe in people like Sridharan and Lingdo, right? Who are fearless and not corrupt. But they also have, it's shaky, right? Lingdo suddenly started kind of aligning with the Congress. You have to observe what's happening also. People don't observe the big picture. Yesterday there was a debate going on about how Mayawati always took Sahara head on. Mayawati took Sahara head on 3 years ago only for 2 days. After 2 days, Subrat Roy Sahara went and met her, and the entire case was withdrawn by Mayawati. So there was a payoff which has happened. Do I need to tell you that? This common sense. So we can debate this, and I can give you direct evidences of why I say citizens are corrupt. Is because I've told you right from telling our child to do item numbers to standing in a line for Starbucks coffee and not standing in line for a... That's why I say now that the world's greatest democracy and the world's largest democracy have failed because of that mentality. They stand in line for an iPhone over there for 5 days. We stand in line over here for Starbucks coffee for 9 hours. So corruption is, like I told you about I gave you an example of the hands-free. That's also corruption, no? Corruption can be of different kinds.
Whatever little I have understood from life, basically what I see here, a common thread that is running amongst all the delegates who have assembled here in the last 3 days I've been here, I've been watching each one of them, listening to them. One common thread. Would anybody like to share what is that common thread? Running with each one of us. What is it? What big something? Yes, of course. It's coming out of what? Yes, so it's coming out of what? Look at the kind of a thinking you're doing. Where is the thinking coming from? Values, yes. This is what Swami Vivekananda said. You give me 100 people with character, I'll change the whole world. And I think this is what I'm seeing here. And I'm so encouraged. Who cares about the preamble? Who cares about rights and duties? If my values and character is in place, I will do everything right without being told what I need to do. That's how I look at it. And the way this gentleman thinks, I'm amazed. I wonder at what age he started thinking like this. But this is amazing, amazing thinking. Power. Every word he utters is out of character. Perception emerging out of character. I'm not trying to flatter you, friend, but I think this is what I'm seeing him. He is a man of power because he stands on rock, absolute rock of character. No question. I don't compromise. Now the way he responds to situation, like he takes a cab fellow to the railway station, to the police station, maybe they could have been a different way, like Swamiji was trying to say, how do I respond to situations? Out of love, can I influence that person to do something different? I think that's the challenge here. And I was talking to my friend, I'm forgetting his name, and he gave an example of a bottle has got it's closed. Who said that? Aman. Aman said, I asked him a question. Aman, bottle is closed. He said, now you can't pour water inside. I said, so how do I uncork it? I asked him. And he gave me a very interesting answer. How do I uncork it? Uncork it. खोल देंगे वो खोलेंगे कैसे? How? I gave him as a homework. Now he's thinking about it. How to open it, am I right? He's thinking. That's the issue here. How do I uncork this bottle? That's what he's saying. And that's the challenge that we have been facing last 14 years in Do News Center. How to uncork. And the only way we think that can be done is to inject. This fellow, Harshit, who's here in front of you, you're doing a great job. He was a wild fellow at the age of 19. Totally wild. He's a karate fellow. He used to take on anybody and everybody, include his dad. He was wild. He has calmed down so much because he had worked out things himself. That's why we respect people because we can't. A 16-year-old taught us. Somebody told him in a discussion, listen, it doesn't happen like that. He said, listen, you don't give me perspectives, let me work it out. And I think that's the issue here. Each one of us has a different way of working out things. Who am I to control it? And that's where I think this principles of proactivity, which we do a lot of this on proactivity and reactive responses, and I can relate with it. And I think that's the issue, how to uncork. If the brim is full, I can't. And if I've got to put some water in, I've got to uncork. How do I do it?